The other issue, and this plays into nationally what people were requesting out of this bailout bill, is there's a problem with the income tax, with the IRS guidelines. Right now, if a lender writes off or says, you know, hey, you owe us $100,000, we'll take $80,000. Prior to December 31st, 2007, that $20,000 difference was fully taxable as income. So the lender says that you owe $100,000, but they'll take $80,000. That $20,000 is considered to the borrower an extra $20,000 income for that year, and they'd have to pay income taxes on it. The argument being, you got, as the borrower, $20,000 benefit from paying, you know, the loan off at a short pay. Well, you know, that really doesn't work. You know, that's kind of fuzzy math, especially if the home was overappraised to begin with, and was never really worth that $100,000. You didn't really realize in your pocket $20,000 cash. So there was the tax relief program of 2007. So there's all this like legislation and stuff going on. It's so confusing and hard to keep track of. But if you just kind of take it step by step and try to see how they all fit together, it's not quite the jigsaw puzzle that they're making it out to be, because the pieces don't really fit. They don't fit the needs of the borrowers. The Tax Relief Act of 2007, passed on December 31st of 2007, said that, okay, you know what? You're right, we won't count all of this as income in certain cases. And the certain cases are if the loan that you got, the loan that you have that you're, bless you, if the loan that you're refinancing was used to purchase a home, or if the money that you got out of the loan was used for home improvements, then some of that reduction, that short payoff, won't be considered income. But if you used it for any other reason, like debt consolidation, pay off bills, or, which I see a lot, particularly with seniors, who are given loans and that they can't make the payments. And the broker will say, well, you know what, take some cash out. You're going to get some cash from the loan. Use that money to make the payments for a few months, and then I'll come back and refinance you. I'll come back in 6 months, a year, 2 years, and we'll fix it all. But in the meantime, just use this money to make your monthly payment. It's unfortunately very common. In that situation, if the senior or any homeowner was able to get a short payoff from the lender, that difference from the 100 to the 80 would still be taxable even under the Tax Relief Act of 2007. So, combining that issue with the hope for home, hope is like a really big word, you know, now. They're all using the word hope or home, you know, but the Hope for Homeowners program, if the lender agrees to take a short payoff so that the borrower can get into the HUD loan, there's usually going to be a write-down of the principal. So you might be giving the borrower a better loan, but they're going to get zapped, potentially, on the income taxes. So all these things are sort of in play in the market at once. So that sounds a little dreary. And, well, I don't know. See, because I love my job. I do. I think, and what I will say about our office is we are the only attorneys general, little bit of plug, we're the only attorneys general office in the country that is actually running a direct service mortgage helpline for borrowers who call in, and I get to work with them, which is very fun. Because I get to yell at lenders all day long. But what we do is, and right now, and I think one of the big reasons that everyone's coming together today is not just to take this information out to your communities, but to kind of brainstorm and what we can do at a higher level to effectuate some of the changes. But unfortunately, one of our most effective tools on the ground is just case by case by case by case, one by one, working with homeowners to try to get them out of trouble. And the main vehicle to do that is our loan modifications. And you might hear the term a lot, you might know what it means, you might think you're familiar with the terms. What I did is I like one-page cheat sheets. You know, They're just kind of easy to read, and it kind of just gives you a brief update. And I'm sorry I came a little bit late this morning. I drove down from down. I'm directionally challenged. Drive down from Chicago. I prepared, and I have it on the back table over there, a cheat sheet about kind of some of the more general or commonly used terms when we're talking loan modifications, to be able to talk to our communities and to let you know the types of things that lenders are doing, that we're seeing in our office, that lenders are doing to assist homeowners. It used to be about 18 months ago, and 18 months ago doesn't sound like it was so long ago, but it's basically, you know, if you're talking antique furniture, you know, 18 months ago, that's antique time. Those of you who are housing counselors, leaders in your communities, when you would call the lenders and say, this borrower needs help, they'd either not return the call, look at you like you were crazy, or say, okay, well, how far are they behind? $8,000? Okay. Divide that by 12, and that's what they'll pay extra every single month in addition to their regular payment, and boom, that's the workout. It was a repayment agreement. And of course, the advocates would say to the lenders, well, you know, if we're saying that the borrowers can't afford their regular payment, how can they afford the regular payment plus $700 a month? It ain't going to work. What has happened because, and it's again, not out of the generosity of the lenders and servicers, but really because of all the defaults in the marketplace. I mean, lenders have had to be a little bit more creative. That doesn't mean that we still don't have to push the envelope. But in terms of what we're seeing now, they are actually modifying or changing loan terms. And some of these changes in loan terms could take the shape of extending out the term of the loan, meaning they have a longer time over which to make the payments, stretching them out longer, maybe from 30 to 40 years. It could be interest rate reductions, which is the quickest way or the easiest way to lower somebody's monthly payments. I mean, come on, taking somebody down from a 10% interest rate to a 5.5% interest rate, that's really going to have an impact on the household budget. And we're seeing, and there will be, well, I'll get to that in a moment, lowering interest rates, extending loan terms, and in some limited cases, we can get principal reductions. Those situations where if somebody owes $100,000, we can bring it down to $80,000, and then restructure the loan as an advocate, restructure the loan so that the payments reflect an $80,000 balance. There's also something called capitalization, which is a term on the term sheet and back. And again, you can kind of throw it out there and you think, oh, capitalization, it sounds, so financial. So all it is a long-term repayment agreement. It's where the lender will take what you're behind and put it into the amount of the loan that you owe. So if you owed 100 and you're behind with all the fees and the arrearages, 10, now voila, you have a $110,000 loan, even if it's more than the value of the house, because we're finding that lenders and servicers are not necessarily looking at what your real home value is, okay? But they would add this $10,000 into your loan and then rework the numbers at whatever interest rate, whether they keep it at the same interest rate or lower your interest rate, and your monthly payment would go toward paying down that new loan balance of 110 as opposed to the 100. And that's what capitalization is. Obviously, that's one of the first things that lenders want to do, because in that situation, they're going to get all of their money back, not just the $100,000 that you borrowed, but everything that you were behind. And that $10,000 that you were behind, you're now paying interest on it for 25, 26, 27 years. Okay? So it's a tool, and one that's pretty commonly used in the market. There's also things like deeds in lieu of foreclosure, people who just can't afford the homes and need to walk away, giving the title to their homes back to their lenders. Short sales, people who are selling the homes for less than what's owed and getting the lender to take that amount. So the tools, like I said, they're kind of described in the back. And again, what our office is doing and what we hope to be able to work with you as leaders in your community, we've been working with CIOP, groups like NETEC, Reverend Pierce's group for a number of years. When you have borrowers who are in trouble, you can refer them to our office, you can work with us, and sometimes by tag teaming. A lot of these lenders and servicers have what they call executive response units that work specifically with government agencies. And I'm not telling you that it's always a smooth path. You would hope that, I'm leasing that again, fix the rate, fix the loan. It doesn't quite work that way. But, sometimes it gives it a little bit of an extra push. So